2 weeks ago, there was some real downpours again in that game. But look, overall, half time, 2 points up, playing into the stiff breeze, and it was backs to the wall. But I thought the character shown by the lads in the second half. We had chances in that first half that generally we converted into scores, and we didn't take our chances. And I think the way they reacted in the second half, obviously the goal after half time was a big score, and then obviously Jake's goal finishing up, it just gave us a cushion, because Cork came right back at us after we get the first goal. They were back level again and probably had a bit of momentum. So probably the most pleasing is the character of the team, the way they pushed on and found a gear in that second half. I thought their work rate and their overall application in that second half was very good. Some really big moments in that game where they won ball, drove forward and got some great scores. So look, we're still far from the finished article, but I do think we're improving, and I do think that game will bring us on a lot, and it's all about recovery now, because it comes again in a week's time, so it doesn't be long coming around. But look, we're exactly where we want to be back in the All-Ireland series after beating a very, very good Cork team, so we're happy with that.
You were waiting for ages to get that break. The championship really only started in the second half of that game. It felt like that you started winning those 50-50 balls. The work rate seemed to be up.
Yeah, I think the lads worked very, very hard all through, and you have to do that against Cork, because some of the scores they got from distance in that second half, we were struggling to cope with them. They have great pace, and in fairness, they're a really good side. But overall, into the breeze and in that second half, as I said, I think the questions were asked. But the one thing about this dressing room was I feel there's great character in it, and I thought that character and desire came around out in the second half. As I said, we won't be frightening anyone with our performances, but at the same time today was about getting a result, getting back into the All-Ireland series, and we're just thrilled to be back in an Ireland quarter-final next weekend.
Liam, I've never seen you as animated on the sideline as I have before this evening. It obviously meant a lot to you.
I did, yeah. I suppose, look, we were really, really disappointed, Valerie, the way we played the last day. We just couldn't find our form. It's not too often that we lose every position, and I suppose we all felt a little bit that we had let ourselves down and let the county down the way we played 2 weeks ago, and that's always a very, very disappointing moment. So we were just looking to get a reaction today. You know what I mean? As I said, we all want to come out on top. Most of all, we wanted to make sure that we brought something to the pitch that was a representation of what that group were about, and I think that's what we did today, and thankfully, as I said, it got us over the line.
Liam, how important was it for you even that a load of new faces kind of stepped up, even Alan Flynn, Paul Flynn coming on, Willie Connors, a lot of new faces maybe making a big mark today?
Yeah, and I think that's an important, I suppose the team, has a lot of tried and trusted over the years, but I think to see the bench and the impact they've made today, some of those guys really made a big impact, and also, I think, Alan and the lads at the back, Cork have a serious forward line. I thought the way they defended in that second half, there was a lot of times where it's one-on-one, and there's 40 yards of space, so that's a hard place to defend. But I just thought they defended very well, and they worked the ball out well. And as I said, I thought our movement inside was very good in that second half. We probably played better in terms of our movement, and our positioning of the ball in was much better in that second half. That meant shaming these guys for getting the ball. But overall, it was a very workmanlike performance, which probably pleases me the most.
I think it brings a huge back to come at the start of the day.
Yeah, look, Michael is a great player. He's got wonderful pace and power, and he got himself around that pitch today. Even some of his ball handling in the air, and his overall application today in the middle of the park, it was vital for us. And as I said, he picked off some wonderful scores, and we needed him, because some of the 11 wides in the first half now, normally we wouldn't be missing those. So we did leave ourselves with a mountain to climb, but the most pleasing thing of all is the reaction we got in that second half.
Did you make a big allowance for the weather, what you were saying at half time?
No, we just felt that it was about getting on the ball in the middle third and trying to get it in. We felt that we didn't really give the forwards, the inside forwards, a good platform to build on in that first half with the way we distributed the ball. So that's something we spoke about at half time, and I thought the lads done a much better job in it in that second half. And thankfully, as I said, we got the vital scores. But ultimately, the 2 goals were the difference. The 2 goals into the breeze were the winnings of the match.
Were you trying to be too precise in the first half with some of the ball that was going in, maybe taking one pass too long or one touch too long?
Yeah, I think overall now, Mark Coleman was sitting deep and he was sitting in front of the full back line, so he was hard to pass, and it probably allows inside defenders, when you have that cushion of you can really attack the ball as an inside line. So obviously in the second half, they pushed up, and it probably meant that we had a bit more space to play into, and as I said, thankfully, I thought they worked the ball well, got some lovely scores by coming deep, getting back out on the shoulder, getting the ball over the bar. They were vital scores.
Will you learn match after match now? Do you think this team is going to improve game on game?
Look, I think we wouldn't be getting carried away by today, but certainly it's a step in the right direction. I do think we need to get better, but I do think we'll get better. I think you can't beat match practice. That's only our second match, since March, so it's a long time, and but the lads have trained very hard. But there's no doubt about it. There's no substitute for match practice. All right.
Any injuries today, Liam?
Jason was a bit niggly there at the end coming off, so I'm not sure. I haven't seen the exact diagnosis yet, so fingers crossed. He's probably the only one that can lift the car. Well, I wasn't sure actually, just with all that was on at that stage. I was more worried about who was going in to replace him, but yeah, hopefully it's not too serious.
We'll be hoping for a fine day the next day, Jordan.
I don't think we'll get any fine days in November, lads. I give it up in the weather. Thanks very much.